representative of Pakistan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, Pakistan welcomes the participation of the permanent representative of Sudan in this meeting. We would also like to thank the ICC prosecutor, Mr. Karim Khan, for his briefing. Mr. President, taking advantage of the presence of the prosecutor, I would like to just depart from the agenda item to make a couple of personal remarks. Pakistan is not a party to the Rome Treaty establishing the ICC. We are, of course, committed to the objective of accountability for international crimes, whether these were committed in the Holocaust, or whether they are committed in Darfur, or whether they are committed in Gaza, or Afghanistan, or elsewhere. The ICC can gain global credibility if it displays inclusivity, objectivity, and impartiality in the cases and persons it decides to investigate and prosecute. Some jurisdictions have so far been immune from prosecution for widely reported crimes, including those committed in situations of prolonged foreign occupation and intervention. This is a conversation I hope I could extend with the prosecutor at a later date. Mr. President, we have reviewed the 40th report of the prosecutor of the ICC to the United Nations Security Council pursuant to Resolution 1593. This is a 20-year-old mandate. We have noted the appreciation expressed by the report on the positive engagement of the government of Sudan during the reporting period. We have also noted the progress made in the case of trial of Mr. Abdul al-Rahman Ali Koshab, who voluntarily surrendered to the ICC in 2020. The work of the ICC in relation to Darfur should continue to be guided by the mandate of the Council, strictly abide by the principle of complementarity, exercise its powers independently, objectively, impartially, and in accordance with the law, and fully respect the judicial sovereignty and legitimate concerns of the Sudanese authorities. Mr. President, the conflict in Sudan has caused immense human suffering. Close to a quarter of Sudan's population, at least 11 million people, have been displaced. 3 million have sought refuge in fragile neighbouring states. Another 25 million Sudanese face acute hunger. Countless innocent lives have been lost. The Sudanese people have seen unimaginable atrocities during the nearly 2 years of the recent conflict. 2 days ago, more than 70 innocent lives were lost in Rapid Support Forces attack on a Saudi hospital in Al-Fasher. We extend our deepest sympathies to the victims and their families. The RSF has consistently displayed utter disregard for international humanitarian law. Similar atrocities have been committed in Al-Jinina, Al-Jazeera, Al-Fasher, Khartoum, and other places. Pakistan firmly upholds the unity, sovereignty, and territorial integrity of Sudan. We call for an immediate and unconditional ceasefire. The parties need to find a sustainable political resolution through peaceful means. The humanitarian crisis in the country needs to be comprehensively addressed. We call on the Sudanese armed forces and the rapid support forces to engage in dialogue and diplomacy. We call on both sides to implement the commitments made under the Jeddah Declaration on protection of civilians and the facilitation of humanitarian action to meet the emergency needs of the Sudanese people. The blatant violations of international humanitarian law with impunity must stop, and the suffering of the Sudanese people brought to an end. I thank you, Mr. President.
I thank